Look at the fourth wall here, dude. You know, revealing all of our hidden conversations. As well, it looks like the vibes in the T1 house are looking pretty good. You know, big smiles on Anna and Topson. I like the fact that Topson, that was where he felt comfortable to come back, is when he had some level of familiarity, you know? Like, it really feels like these two just know how each other work. They know what each other need at certain stages of the game. So I'm keen to see how they're able to make this one work for them. The thing that I was talking about with the supports is that something that T1 were kind of criticized about, Zephyr in particular, is that he was very passive. Like, he's a slowish position 4, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a bad thing in metas that involve a lot more active support. You know, you can't get away with a tree and protector and stuff like that. So I feel like this patch things have slowed down a little bit, but I feel like Topson's influence isn't necessarily just going to be with what he plays in the mid lane. It's also the behaviors that he's trying to instill into his teammates. You can see Zephyr's already not like thising at the moment, just saying, all right, I'm going to play this Marcy, because I saw his pubs recently, and it's all filled with heroes that just try and run at you. So if that's not Topson influence, I don't know what is. You know, we're seeing Marcy's, Primal Beasts, even like a Bounty Hunter occasionally coming through. Heroes that are just trying to get really aggressive onto the front lines. That's his job. It's going to be his job. I can honestly even see Whitemon being more farmed than him in a lot of games, just because you need your position 4 to be as active as possible. And we got a Morphling, and I mean, it's not even confirmed where this is, right? Topson is a Grandmaster Morphling, so he could be playing it from the mid lane. You never know.
With regards to Execration in their first phase, though, this is something that they are incredibly comfortable on. Back to the days, not really long ago, but when DP was playing as a position 5, Vincenzo had an exceptional death buffer, and they were even still playing it as a position 5 for quite some time. But not only does he play it very well, Bob has an incredible death profit. You can even give it to Tino on the off lane, and they've already at least secured a strong lane if it is going to be that death profit 3 and the tiny 4. There's a lot of flex here for Execration, and something that they've won multiple games off with this combo.
Yeah, even just Shanks on the Tiny on its own, right? Yeah. It's just such a formidable combination that you need to be worried about. Like, he is, in my opinion, the star of this team. He always seems to be able to find those next level plays coming through as we close with Shanks, you know, red-haired Shanks, big One Piece fan. Sorry, that's a Weeb reference, Aries, you wouldn't get it. But his Snapfire next level is, there's nothing kludge about anime, all right? Tiny, very, very good as well. So I'm keen to see if he's able to put the team on his back for this one. One of the other players that's going to need to do so is Bob. I see Bob as, for people that haven't watched too much of the SEA region, the mid laner with the highest variance coming through in terms of his play. He can either be like an absolute tier 1 mid laner, or he can kind of look tier 4 dumpster level. Just, it's because he goes for all of these big plays, right? And sometimes when they come off, it looks amazing. When it doesn't, it ends up looking a little bit silly. Thankfully, maybe for his sake, the Bat Rider is one of the heroes that he does that mostly on, and it's been banned out by T1. So I'm keen to see what he picks up.
Yeah, the puck as well is another thing that he thrives on, and T1 to ban that out. So I see Bob's going to be playing in his comfort zone, and like you said, really the big issue for him is his consistency. Can he stay consistent? We've got to keep in mind as well, Execration, this is a bit of a different look at their roster, but their last TI qualifiers back in TI10 made an incredible run when Nico was on there, of course now known as Force as well on Polaris. So Execration know a thing or two about making deep runs in TI qualifiers.
Yeah, they got all the way to 4th before being beaten by Boom, I believe, 2-1. And that was with Palos and Vincenzo, I believe, are the only 2 members still as part of the roster. Vincenzo, of course, a TI veteran, going all the way back to TI7. Did fall out in, not last place, but second last place, but you still got that experience of being able to be at the top level fighting against a lot of these teams. So this is, you know, we talk about the individual gameplay, but the mental aspect of it, that's going to be on Vincenzo's shoulders, to be able to captain this team very effectively, keep them nice and calm, and really rally the troops together if perhaps they're getting a little bit discouraged. I'm seeing a lot of Lich come out, and I'm not sure how confident I feel about it. You know, like, it doesn't... Maybe it's just for the Marcy lane, with all of the damage that you're able to output with the sidekick. They really just want a semi-counter for that, even just getting the suck off the Sinister Gaze when the Marcy tries to dive super deep. Well, No, I fixed it.
Oh, they got double Zuck on their team as well. Holy,
That's
DP
true.
and Lich.
Pugner? Where is he? I'm gonna need to see it.
Bob plays a mean Pugner. Not that we'll see. That we'll see. T1 probably gonna have to reveal. I wonder what they're gonna do with this Marcy Flex. I know you said that they've been playing a lot in regards to the support, just trying to ramp up the pace. And there's another way to be able to do so with the Primal Beast.
So, kind of similar to what we saw from RSG last time around. Primal Beast flexible again by T1, and for them, it's on 3 different positions: 2, 3, and 4, from at least what we've been seeing in pubs. So I think Marcy is more likely going to be Zephyr's hero, but Primal Beast is actually the hero that he's played the most so far this patch. Topson, of course, we've seen him try and solo a bunch of games, and well, now it's probably revealed that this is going to be a core Primal Beast, probably in the mid. I mean, we don't exactly know what the hero matchup's going to be, but you would assume that this is going to be a Marcy not paired together with a Beast. We'll see what ends up happening, but it is certainly a different build for both of them. But it does reveal a big difference to what I was talking about before, right? With T1 and their style. Previously, they were the team with by far, not just in SEA, but in the world, the longest game time. They always seem to drag it out and perform in those super late game positions. But look at this. Primal Beast, Chen, Marcy. Those are early game heroes. Their spikes at like 15 to 20 minutes. So it's a real movement away from a lot of these previous styles that they're trying to do. And that's the influence that I was talking about with Topson, what he brings to the team outside of just his individual gameplay.
This is another hero that's on the rise a little bit as well in the Shadowfin. I think it was getting picked up a couple times over in China. Just saw it earlier today. Mickey played it in the Pudge game that Liquid had in game 1. So we are starting to see the Shadowfin get played a little bit more, not only in the mid lane, but also the safe lane as well. I really think the Razor's change is huge for the Shadowfin and how he's able to play. So I would not be surprised if we continue to see him a little bit more.
Pretty significant. I'm not sure what the Conker ban is for here. I mean, I guess you can build around the position like mid lane Shadow Fiend, but it's actually the carry, and then try and put the Conker into the Chen's lane just to make life a little bit easier there. Maybe as well just needing a little bit of extra control in these team fights to allow the SF to just stand there and right click. But I feel like assuming that this is going to be a Primal Beast mid lane, potentially, Shadow Fiend into that is probably one of the better responses, just because you're able to deal a lot of magic damage. Of course, with the Uproar, you're getting a lot of armor, you're getting a lot of bonus damage. Shadow Fiend's pretty quick, and if you're able to land at least 2 of those razors, it means that you don't have quite as much ability to, use the trample quite so effectively. You get slowed, your turn rate slowed as well, so pretty significant.
So what do we feel like we're looking for T1? Because Sniper just got banned off the Execration. Yeah, alright, so...
Good question. Who knows? Like, I'm just going to be sitting back and watching what T1 does, because I don't think anyone is going to be able to predict what's coming through next for them. They've got no data to be able to go off here. Basically, the only thing that's confirmed is it's a 5-gen. I guess the Morph as well, but even, like I said before, Topson is a Grandmaster Morphlings player able to go off here.
You can go Marcy Primal Beast lane into the Morphling with Topson, but Invoker is going to be banned out as well. So they're under the assumption that getting rid of at least the Topson Invoker to make some plays. I do think that is actually one issue that maybe T1 have, that sure you can get active with the Chen creeps early on, and the Marcy needs to play with someone else though. So I wouldn't hate to see them with another kind of playmaker to make a lot of space here for Morphling.
So what are we assuming? Like it's a mid beast and then a 3 that they still need on T1? Because Viper's gone, Razor's gone. Those are probably the 2 main base creators. I mean, Visage is kind of a space creator in the fact that forcing someone to respond, otherwise your towers just die. They've been trying out a little bit of the offlane Undying, but I'm not sure if it's the greatest game for that. Dawnbreaker, perhaps, could be the way to go. You just dive in really deep with the Primal Beast and then Solar Guardian on top of them. You're wanting to just keep up that aggression, and really strong laner together with a Marcy too.
Honestly, you're ballsy for saying hero recommendations. Again, I'm in a similar boat. I'm just like, look, I don't know what they're gonna pick, and it's someone with tempo, so not kind of.
Is this an offlane? I think
I
this
don't
could be
know.
a position 1 Nature's Prophet. Like, this is what I saw Ana having the most amount of success on when he was standing in on these teams. Heroes that could be on the other side of the map farming because he's an exceptional farmer, but it's about the timing of joining in onto these team fights. And I feel like Nature's Prophet is, of course, the easiest hero to be able to do that. The hero combination that I want to see the most on T1 is Luna Visage. You and I saw it a lot during the SA qualifiers, and I feel like it fits their style really well. Put Topson on some kind of crazy hero that just dives in first, let the Luna farm, and then have the map presence with your aura, which is global at nighttime, and it's just really effective with the Visage. This is kind of a similar thing with the Nature's Prophet, where you're just sitting back, you've got that global presence, and you've got a pudge. All right, who is laning where? I have no freaking clue, but we'll see who gets picked up.
It's an
Topson morphling
Mossy.
and it's an Moss. Oh my god! See, I knew we couldn't predict this. I knew we couldn't predict
I'm so excited.
I was actually playing this earlier today, and I was like, oh, he might have just been messing around a little bit in his pubs, but clearly not. If this is what you're going to be opening up with, my biggest issue with Marcy is that farming is so difficult. You know, you have like no farming mechanisms. Maybe now with a rebound, be AoE, but you still need something to bounce off of. I don't know. Feels weird to me. But we'll see if Ana's able to make it work.
So I think at least the nice thing for T1 and having Cuckoo playing the Nature's Prophet is his item build can be a little bit more versatile. Like if it was going to be Ana's Nature's Prophet, I don't think you can particularly pick up a Spirit Vessel as a position 1. I think the Furon can definitely go down that route, and that's how you're going to look to deal with the Pudge, and not even the Pudge, the Death Prophet as well. Like they are 2 heroes that really suffer against the Spirit Vessel. So I think now at least with having Cuckoo playing this hero, it will make it that much easier for them to bring down these tanky heroes in the early to mid game.
1 hour ago, Ana lost as Marcy with Cuckoo against Whitemon, playing Marcy. So,
What was the item build?
I'll get into that. I just wanted to drop that little factoid really quickly there. But I mean, just while this isn't only the Ana and Topson show, right? Obviously, it's great to have them both back playing together in the international stage. But I just want to highlight Zephyr. Like, can you imagine even 2 months ago him playing a hero like Primal Beast? I certainly can't. Like, that is not the hero pool that I think of when I think of Zephyr. I think of, you know, the Phoenix. I think of his Enchantress, his Treant Protector, even the Dawnbreaker, who as a 4 is kind of slow. You know, you're not one of these link in, start the team fights. You are a reactionary support where you're ulting in on top of someone else that's taking the incentive, like the initial part of these team fights. Whereas this time, you are one that needs to fight. So I really think that it's been drilled into him by Topson in particular. I want to see no Treant in your pubs. I want to see none of this passive crap. Just go in, and we got you.
Ooh, very cute.
A different look at least T1 and their heroes and what they're going to prioritize, but for Execration, it's really not a different look out of these guys. Really, I guess the only different thing is maybe Bob playing the Shadow Fiend. But for everyone else, I mean, Pelos, he has a mean Pudge, something that is incredibly comfortable on him. We've already gone over the Death Prophet and the Tiny as well. I feel like this is a lineup that Execration have their comfort heroes, but then do they have the 5-man lineup to be able to take control of this game 1? Do they have what it takes to be 1 game up here in our best of 3?
I'm gonna go with a solid maybe for this one. Yeah. I mean, the position 1 Marcy is just completely out of left field. I have no idea how it's gonna go. So I'm just happy to wait, you know? I'm going to sit back, I'm going to watch, I'm going to talk about it more than a lot of other people, but I'm just like Chad at this position. I'm just ready to watch some great Dota.
Ready to watch some great Dota, and that we shall have. TI qualifiers, the debut from both these rosters. Back and forth, we got some exciting stuff. We're into it. Last 2 regions as well, battling it out. You got Western Europe going on as well at the same time, but this is where you want to be.
Western Europe. It's SEA, that's where you want to be. Big whacks from that tree from Shanks. So item build for position 1 Marcy that he's been going for, I believe it is Phase Boots, Falcon Blade, BKB Basher. The build that Ana's going for, and maxing out the rebound, because again, that's his farming mechanism. That's what he needs to be able to keep up. I mean, you compare what a Marcy's able to do compared to a Morphling. I mean, this might even just be the more aggressive style, which, by the way, Ana's bottom as Dire, if we didn't realize that one just yet.
So what are they just looking to avoid the Nature's Prophet into Pudge lane?
I guess. I mean, well, they're not going to. I mean, the Pudge is coming top.
See how the early lane's able to shape up here for Topson against Bob on the Shadow Fiend. His early raises spamming out. Topson not going to go for the stick early on. Wants this auto rush to be able to play it open up in regards to the resources. You see how much damage he's racking up. Bob doesn't have enough, unfortunately, for another raise to follow up. Topson is incredibly slow. Look at this. He's like, what do I do?
Well, he's had about 2 range creeps denied in front of his face as well, so obviously a very risky proposition there, but yeah, well, you're not taking a few tower hits, but it's the intimidation factor, you know, this is how you want to start out these qualifiers.
Each brave courier knows the risks.
Make a lot of sense to pair a Primal Beast together with the Nature's Prophet. Is how they were always going to do it with Kuka and Zephyr combination, but maybe they just feel a little bit more confident with running this in the Pudge there, just for a lot of that consistent damage coming out. You have to consider, like, Trample, as long as you get the rod off, you don't really care. You're not going to take any damage. Just wanting something that's going to be able to contest with the really strong right clicks from the Pudge. Primal Beast pretty much emulates that with that the Bracer pickup. Basically the exact same right click.
We'll see Topson have a very difficult time mid. This is the nice thing about the Shadow Fiend, just with the raises, Topson is always forced to kind of play on a high health ball, making it difficult for him to secure the last hit, so...
Fine. Yeah, no, it certainly is quite difficult, and for the very start of this game, Bob's having a great time, making sure even just if he doesn't get the last hits to soak up all of that experience, realizing how important it is for him to create that little bit of a gap over Topson. He should have the easier time with being able to get his last hits off, even going for that kill there and forcing Topson to use a lot more defensive moves coming out and gets the first blood. That has to feel good. Come on, the tips have to come through. There we go, that'll do. And able to get the outplay, get the mojo going, and Bob is not the person.
Oh, not at all. Get this guy online, it's going to be scary here for T1. We've seen what a Shadow Fiend is able to do. Be off to a flying start, and looks like their side lanes are decently well. Bottom lane, Tino 13-1 in combination with the Tiny. This is another lane where I think we're going to have a lot of action break out. Probably is going to be dependent on what the success in particular for T1. Top lane Palos is in a bit of trouble. That trample damage is really starting to add up. Kuku's not going to continue chasing him down. Zephyr with one more right click. He's not going to go for it though. Back to bottom is Tino. Falling lower and lower under the safety of the T1 tower. White Mon and Ana going to continue the chase. But they have put Tino down into a low threshold where it's going to make it difficult for him to play the lane now.
Thank you.
Upside, they have to be a little bit careful. Palos, the half duration healing cell being fed over to him by Vincenzo.
Ana's in down
He wasn't
bottom.
able to get...
They might get a solo kill to Tino. Spirit Siphon to the last second with 2 points in the Siphon. That will be enough to find the health back. A nice attempt from Ana.
Tense, right? People, like I was saying before, penciling this in as an easy T1 win. It is not that at all. Doubling last hits and denies in the mid lane is Bob. Great start. They're going for another dive here, but Tino able to shrug it off for now.
Like setting for a dream.
Oh, he gets it again.
Dude. Oh no. Bobby, what are you doing? 14 Necromastery now. Dewey damage is really starting to ramp up. Oh, this is not good. Because Vincenzo looks like he's considering about making some stacks for the Shadow Fiend. Do you get this guy into... Is he able to go for the Requiem? He might. Bob charges up the ultimate for the damage. It's not enough onto Topson.
He had just a little bit less mana needed for the Shadow Rays. That last one, otherwise Topson would have died. Oh my god, the mental damage that would have done would have just been insane. Side. Follow up here, Zephyr again just playing this aggressive style. They're going to charge for it, but yeah, pops the rod.
Palos, can he get out? One more right click from afar. Cuckoo and Zephyr find the swipe. A much needed kill for T1.
Everything that's happening in this mid lane, though, all the other lanes are going pretty well. I mean, Pudge sitting towards the bottom end of the net worth, even Chen almost overtaking him with how aggressive Whitemond's been playing. Got the, he didn't even go on the Bassi. He's just going for that full group up. Again, it's all about the early timings for T1 with this new style of roster.
I do like this ward place there from Shanks down by the bottom power rune. They're going to help out the Shadow Fiend from being able to secure some of the runes, but also to scout out Topson. He looks to fall back to the jungle. Spawn up top, Topson. It's the regen. He's got Zephyr nearby to be able to chase down Vincenzo. He's a bit cautious about Bob. But Boom Raze is still to play with in regards to the mana. Topson should be able to get out of harm's way.
The regen as well, so he'll be just fine. Also got this pesky creep coming mid. That Stadium Mind Steal event. It's the best creep in the game. Like, you just completely ruined the enemy hero's mana pool. And someone like an SF who been doing a great job so far on Bob to be able to bully Topson out of this lane, it's not going to continue if you just don't have the mana to do it.
With all the heroes though leaving the lanes, it puts Tino in a solo matchup versus Honor, and I feel like the Death Prophet's going to be incredibly happy with this.
I suppose, but you've also got to consider that Cuckoo is also farming solo on top of this. Can't move forward on Palos to be able to try and get any farm. You're just going to get sprouted, you're just going to get charged at. Yeah, Flesh Heap still has quite a long cooldown. He's only got the 1 point into it so far, so only 5-second duration, 20-second cooldown.
Gonna need some trouble with Shanks will be over.
It's coming though.
Still have a second to be able to get some distance, and now Cuckoo up to the north. He's gonna be okay. Goes on to Shanks, but Palos, he's gonna charge into the middle. He recognizes that he just needs to get on top of the Nature's Prophet to stop the right clicks, and Palos does just that.
Movement coming through, but still, it's that net worth lead. It's sitting in T1's favor right now, and with the regen rune, even Topson just being able to move back towards the jungle. I actually didn't realize how low this mid tower was already. Less than 4 HP. Gonna be that you can look to dive in through a nice kill bottom, left solo, and with the TP coming in from Cuckoo, so they're gonna try and put a little bit more pressure onto these towers around the map, force some defensive rotations out of Execration, rather than all of the aggressive ones that they've been having so far.
Good fight by the power room. Spawn up top and back with the invisibility. Trying to find the stacks, gonna go to the Requiem instead. He's still playing around with the attribute shift, and Topson once again just lives to see another day. Cautious Oki Zephyr. With the onslaught clips off the Shanks, they've got the Wrath of Nature as well, so T1 off the back of the support rotations will help Topson stay alive and get a kill onto Shanks.
That's the thing about the best teams in the world. You can have one lane go really poorly, but as long as the other two are just fine, I mean, that's why it was such a big deal that Bob was getting this solo without any other assistance.
Carlos, he's in a lot of trouble here. Anna's got plenty of movement speed to be able to continue this chase, and the T2 tower won't even be a deterrent. He doesn't get close enough to it. So Anna and Cuckoo get another big kill onto Palos, who's really struggling on the Pudge.
Is under attack.
Did get that kill onto the, sorry, it was a deny onto the mid T1 tower, but he's up off to start moving through the jungle. They could see him walking up top here. He went underneath the outpost, so
Structures are fortified.
to connect through onto this, look to open up the map a little bit more if he can. Zephyr should be able to get away though. What happens around mid? Whitemon, again, just playing aggressively. They're going to try and get the sprout in. Well, actually landed, but Rally Blade enables Palos to get away. Just more pressure happening around the map, not giving anything up for free as T1.
Do we feel like Execration might lack some early game damage now going to the mechanism and almost hand a goal? Look at the jump! Oh no, Tino evaporates! Now he's going to turn to try and bring down Palos. It's going to be all up to Bob. If they can turn this team fight back around, but the Red Team still on cooldown, so Bob will have no answer. As Execration, they lose their tier 1 tower and they lose 2 members.
In terms of the damage output, I think it can be a little bit lacking. Maybe not so much once you hit like level 8 on the Death Prophet. I think it's very important to make sure that you've got that 1 point into the silence, and you just need to pop the Exo and have those 4 Spirit Siphon charges working. The other thing as well is they don't exactly have anyone that's amazing at locking people into a small space. That's what you really need for the Exo, for the Chain Frost, as well as the Pudge, to have that greatest level of input. So a lot of this game is honestly on Shanks being able to, with some decent timings, he's going into the phase boots for himself, just because I guess he feels that he can't reliably wait for the Blink Dagger. They're going to get run over in that time, and he wants to be able to quickly run up forward, get a toss back, and that to snowball through the rest of the team.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a build that Evoker likes. There was someone at ESL, I can't remember who now, that was going phase boots as well after the change. They maybe just felt like the cast range or the toss was a little bit of an issue, so maybe the phase boots movement speed could help out. I saw someone else who I just can't remember who. I think it was Baroka.
Yeah, no, it was Baroka, and it's game dependent, right? This is one of those games where you're up against this full-on Zoo lineup that you have to have speed to get away. You kind of have to put yourself in harm's way because a Lich isn't going to be frontlining, a Shadow Fiend pre-BKB isn't going to be frontlining, a Pudge kind of can, but it's still so vulnerable super early on, right? Not anywhere near level 10, so he's going to have pathetic armor, and when you consider what you're up against, like all these Chen creeps, Nature's Prophet right-clicking you, Unleash coming through from the Marcy, gets way too much
Not enough to get the kill onto Poppin. He's been able to charge up the Requiem, take over the Exo as well. This is a lock-in minute for Execration, and they just get Zephyr. I don't know if that's worth it. Two ultimates. Yes, you keep the Shadow alive, but and Lame as well. Arna, he's going to find a solo kill onto Paolo, so this is something that a core Marcy needs, and a position 1 Marcy in particular. You need to get kills when you have the Unleash available, and Arna has done that multiple times this game.
Really loving the way that Zephyr's been playing so far. They do get rid of that vision that's enabling him to play this aggressive style, but he's level 8. He is the same, he's higher level actually than the Pudge right now, and it's 12.5 minutes, and both supports on Execration aren't level 6. I think Shanks just picked it up right there. So it does feel a little bit weird. They can't take a lot of these team fights. You need to give a little more emphasis towards picking up that Chain Frost with Vincenzo. Right now, he's roaming around the map, trying to get some stacks off, some E-Ward duty, but it feels like they need to let him be a tiny bit more selfish. Go down the Xiao Bonbon route.
What do you think the play is here for Execration? Because you've taken T1 top, T1 mid. What do you look to do in the next couple of minutes? Because you're down 5,000 gold.
You are, aren't you? You need to make sure that you get into the... I want to say the BKB on Bob, but it's going to be a little while away. Like you almost have to buy this Ogre Axe just so that you've got that little bit of extra survivability for this inevitability. Like, they will run at you on T1. No, you see this with Chen, Marcy, Primal Beast. It's gonna happen. So they just need to try and, like, shove out lanes as much as they can, be as survivable as possible, get level 6, so that if they dive past your tower, you've got the abilities and the damage to be able to burst them down. Even just the Pudge having more levels, right? He's maxed out the Rock because he needs that to be able to farm more quickly, but you need maxed out Flesh Heat just to have greater uptime even, regardless of the damage block.
We'll see how fast Bob's going to be able to pick up this BKB. We'll have a haste in the arsenal. Gonna help out maybe with a pick off though in the fight. Pelos is getting a little bit of farm up top as well. Cautious about that Wrath of Nature, but this gets out of vision. So still the net worth lead, not really growing for T1, but Topson is well and truly recovered after the rough lane that he's had.
That's always the thing that the best teams do. Like I was saying before, you gotta face for a teammate that's having a rough game, and with Execration doing it, it really feels like they've committed so much more. Where D1, they're going for the efficiency plays. They're making sure that spread people out around the map. It's one of the big strengths of the Chen, right? You still have a global presence with your Hand of God. You can jungle on your own, and if someone finds you in the jungle, who cares? It's a Chen. If you're rotating multiple people, then so much.
Oh no, he jumped in, and now with the Chain Frost can bounce back and forth. But they're there to go for the bonus heal. Now Arno's going to try and turn around as well. They unleash for the Dispel, and Arno's life still not enough. They get the kill to the Marcy, but it comes at such a grave cost, as Execration will lose all 3 members in the skirmish party. Maybe. Alright, they got him. Topson gets the double. Arna loses his streak, but all of tier 1 show up huge with the rotation down to bottom.
At least this time around, they don't commit absolutely everyone on Execration. Like, yeah, you lose 3 heroes, and it sucks. But Bob, he's farming. He's becoming that really big threat, the damage threat they're going to need for the fights that are yet to come.
Scanning for
12,
enemies.
around the recipe left towards the BKB. It's going to be big. And they've also got the siege creep wave up top, so someone needs to respond to this, and they know that a lot of TPs came down bottom to be able to protect that, to protect Ana previously. So only Nature's Prophet that can look play up here. Topson can as well, but you know, eventually it's going to be Cuckoo playing up top here.
They might consider Roche pretty shortly here for T1. Wraithback just completed for Cuckoo. A lot of damage mitigation. This lifesteal as well, the important thing. You've got the sidekick even to play with as well. So yeah, I wonder if T1, what they're going to consider. Maybe they are looking for a pickoff and then they can enter Roche, or maybe they feel like they're strong enough just to walk on in.
I don't know if they can do it without Morphling though. You'll, I think, need Morphling's damage to be able to get anything here, and good positioning by Vincenzo. The smoke, all the Chen creeps, revealing absolutely everything. You give your life away, but I was about to say it's worth it. How quickly is he looking to try and connect on Topson? Not really. So I don't think they can do this. They might still go for it though. Hitting it now, but kind of in two minds about it all. Go. Go, Cuckoo TP's in. They see the SF TP back as well. That was really what Cuckoo was wanting. Just realized that SF isn't going to be able to be part of any quick rush attempt. Doing this a little bit faster than I was expecting. Well, they don't know.
Maybe Ana feels like they're forced to use it, and right now the Unleashing's going down much faster. So T1 took the first ages. James and Palos trying to catch out Topson down bottom, but the Spidey senses are tingling. So Topson's back for safety, making sure he doesn't put himself in a compromised position while the team is getting an objective.
Good wards, really showing a lot of that positioning. Not really visual spots.
Oh, close. Oh, the creep just walked in the way. What damn.
They are going to reach this timing where they feel a lot more confident to be able to fight though on Execration, right? Like in, I would say about 4 minutes time, you could get your tier 2 neutral items, you could get your Aghanim Scepter on Palos, you can get your Blink Dagger on Shanks, you can get KB on Death Prophet. Like, it's a lot of stuff coming very shortly. They can weather the storm, just wait out this Aegis, then look to try and make a play. That could be a real turning point for Execration. It's just making sure that you're efficient with your movements, not wasting TPs for any which person. I feel like you really got to have someone like Vincenzo doing exactly like he is in this mid lane right now. Just shoving out the wave as, even if it's slow with the Frost Shield, anything that's just going to discourage them from constantly running at you, because it means that smokes like these become a whole lot more obvious.
CTNO with the Observe Ward farming in the jungle. Bottom lane as well. Topson shoving out the lanes. This could give them an option to move down and play next to the Morphlane, maybe anticipating a gank or just someone here to shove out the lane.
Look at Tino's position. This is really
Smoke's
good.
gonna pop shortly, so they'll see Zephyr. What's the call? There's gonna take down. I think the chorus of Shanks. Yeah, he's gonna reveal his position regardless. No way he makes it out of this. He'll make him work for it at least. With the adaptive
Shit,
shot
the
from
Tubless
Topson.
toy, bro.
Yeah,
The bounce.
He'll make it.
Oh,
No.
hey.
I mean, that's weathering the storm,
This is the
Deno.
official
That's
spin.
what you said.
Need it. They're 100 gold away from the Aghanim Scepter on the Pudge, 700 for Blink Dagger on Tiny, closer towards Tino's BKB himself. He'll have level 12 as well. I think you got to give up this bottom lane. You cannot fight into this. Don't have the tools to be able to, and T1 have everything that they want. They've Manta Style, they've got BKBs, they've got Aegis, they've got Mech. Way too weak. Push out the other lanes. That's the main goal for Execration right now. They're smoking. This is crazy.
What do you jump? Because I'm going to rhyme on these hand in hand. Not the easiest target to bring down, especially with the right one on the outskirts as well. This will apply it. It's going to stop the load of his health coming back left to the left side. They're going to be able to blow up Tina with a turnaround. It's not enough because Arna's protected with the BKB. He just shrugs off the Requiem, jumps further into the middle, secures the triple kill, and Ana's Marcy is something to fear.
Oh, they did such a good job in being able to scout out that movement and dodge a lot, but you lose your tier 2 tower and you lose 3 heroes because you think you could go on to this Primal Beast. He's a pretty beefy hero. Level 11, position 4, 2200 HP, plus the extra armor that you're getting if you're able to get off that uproar.
It looks Topson and Benta are to jump in. Get the stun. Honestly, has ages. This is time if you're ready for this team fight. Want to get a little bit of take back. Not going to be enough to hold off through the first half. And now Kino, it's got his second point in the exorcism, so it's going to charge in the middle, try to create some chaos, break the formation out of T1, but they're retreating perfectly. In synergies, T1 making sure there's no stragglers for the easy pickings. And now with the backstabbing, never. Onslaughts into the middle with the polarize out as well. Tino's gone out of the count, and now T1, they're on pursuit for more. Cuckoo's already teleported to the backline, but Shanks is up to the higher ground, so instead they'll go back to the T2 tower.
You tell that I like this aggressive T1 because I really like, especially Zep. That is the biggest improvement that I'm seeing so far out of their last 6 months, honestly. Like a big change in style, and it's working out wonderfully. Lacking that little bit of extra damage to get the picture.
Because we're able to break the Dismember instantly. Vincenzo's going to buy some time as well, but Palace is stuck in no man's land. Shanks is going to reveal the Blink Dagger as well. They're going to try and toss him inside the Requiem for the Attribute Ship. Keeps Topson alive, and Arden is having a free fight. Again, the Marcy just jumping on forward. Zero cares in the world is Ana. Cuckoo might have some cares. Looks like he's able to walk that one off as well. A Witchblade, actually, sorry, the Mage Slayer completed. Magic resistance?
I don't know, man. I feel like this is it just comes down to a little bit of maturity coming through from Execration. Like they could have easily taken those last 2 team fights if they just had the BKB on the Death Prophet. If they just waited that little bit longer for even a 4-star on the Lich. Instead, they just ran headfirst in when they weren't ready. They just now have the Blink Dagger as well on Shanks, which certainly does help, especially if you're able to get in onto the backlines, take out the Chen to be able to start a lot of these team fights, or Cuckoo. But felt like they were way too early for a lot of these responses.
So greedy. He wanted that ancient greed. Oh, getting closer to the BKB. Unfortunately, he will be killed off. There you go, Execration. Just kind of, you were just mentioning like maybe some inexperience or inexperience. I was going to say lack of experience, same thing. But it's very difficult to give up that T2 tower. But when you're in this position where you just need these BKBs, when you need these items, that's your hope in these team fights. And if you don't wait long enough, then you kind of you take 2 bullets. You lose the fight, then you still lose your tower, and now you're down even more gold. So now T1 have more items to play with. So what's the probability looking like? 91%.
I just looked. Yeah, it's not looking too great. I feel like you could afford to give up 2 tier if it meant that you had that next item that you need. At the time, I think Pop was pushed out, so they weren't in danger of losing. Third, they just lost way too much for free in my eyes.
One's going to Scepter. Okay, so this is actually what gives you the Dispel. I was looking before that they changed the Dispel, no longer being on Unleash, so now the Scepter's going to provide.
I didn't want to call you out. I wanted to let you.
No.
Okay, terrible player, absolute garbage. It's all right.
Did you say
we win our turbos, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, dominate the turbos. Blink got shit on us. Did you say Scepter was in the build that Ana was going?
Honestly, the games, because they're pubs, mostly end before he gets up to that stage, so
I mean,
normally ends after he gets the bash. Yeah, it's getting close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting close. The smoke on smoke, we'll see what they can do on Execration. Playing around their triangle for the moment. Tino unsmoked, moving to the front. Oh, ships passing in the night. Vincenzo's going to pop the smoke. I'm going to jump the Lich instantly, not the bit. Oh, alright, he's out. They've got a pretty good ward on the high ground to play with, so Shank's going to jump in.
just
Don't
missed
get the
his toss.
combo.
That might have been the cast range change. Even just like 100 less cast range meant that he wasn't able to get it onto the target that he needed. Well, tiny nerfs is really starting to become a bit more of a factor. Man, look at Cuckoo at the bottom of the map. All of these spanning out across the map like spiders, right?
Look at Zephyr's position in the left tree line. He's ready to jump. He's got this BKB, so it'll be a full duration pulverize coming out. Plenty of control to allow the cores just to go to work.
Make adjustments and try again.
Not careful, he'll start to get addicted to this style of just diving in a little bit too deep.
I mean, is this a bad thing? I don't know.
Said it was a bad thing. Just something that could happen. Put himself up on the front lines, saying, you know what, I've got a bunch of auras from the Chen. He's backing me up. Whitemon even having the pipe as well. Even if they dive onto him, I mean, just the passive 30% magic resist is really nice for a Chen. Cloak aura, plus everything else that you got.
Trying to charge up the Requiem. Need to toss him directly on top of the Shadow Fin. They're going to be able to do something with the BKB. The naked timing from Zephyr and our Execration. They got to get out. Cancel the team fight with the bashes in there. Bomb will not escape. And Normal Shanks and Topson wants more blood. Ready for him deep inside the base. They've got Honor to follow up as well as T1. Looking to go forward. Pillaging the base. No one is safe from the boys of T1.
They're ready. They want to go. I mean, they've got the siege creep there. They've got a second wave coming. But for now, they just want to close out all of these outer towers for now. Spend all the ultimates to do so, especially considering they know the exorcism's about to wear off. So what's stopping them moving forward? Roshan just wanting to extend their lead even further. No Requiem, no Chain Frost, no Exorcism. Couldn't go Hydra if they wanted to.
Ooh, they're going to see Take a kill where you can find it. Shanks says, thank you very much. I'll go for that.
Who reckons getting the shot? You'd have to say Topson, right?
I would say so.
What about the curse of the old growth coming through?
Ooh, scary. They've got a great ward on the higher ground. Arn is instantly going to jump to try and protect that. Like by Vincenzo.
Don't try. Text it.
Sure. Alright, so Topson does get the shot, and he's got the ages to work with as well. So this Morphling, he has not died since the laning phase, and maybe that's why Bob wasn't looking to tip Mr. Topson. Because I don't know if you want to poke the beast.
Even without the poking, this is still happening though. So I feel like you take your chance while you get it. Level 20 on Morphling as well, going into the Skadi next. They've taken over this game. And what's the win prob now? 3%. Optimistic, I'll say that much. And well, level 15 with the extra Spirit Siphon damage and healing. This is the big timing that feels kind of busted. You know, a lot of people are playing around this timing specifically. I know everyone likes the percentage. I mean, even Ana's just trying to solo. Look at all the vision that T1 have on the map.
Yeah.
I just realized they can see everything, and they feel like Ana's just able to get these solo pickups.
Oh, he's going to run into power loss. Shanks is nearby. Tino, yeah, he's not going to be able to cancel his TP. Down goes to position 1. Pudge, God like streak for Ana. Bottom lane, Bob. They're going to force out a BKB out of the Shadow Fin as well. One charge from Zephyr sends Bob packing inside the base.
Know how quickly the connection can come, right? You know, teleport as Cuckoo comes in, pops the his waveform very fast and he can move around the map. The Frost Shield's going to delay things a little bit, but it's still ready.
It's going to have to be a toss into a Requiem, and there's the silence.
Half strange man.
Not able to find it. Zephyr with the charge and gets the pulverize onto Tino. They're going to restore the strikes. This is the damage. You drop the pipe, you got the hand of God, and instantly T1 can turn it around. Deep inside the base without a care in the world. Even the Glyph is not going to be enough of a deterrent. Tino will try and charge onto Cuckoo, and the physical damage is starting to rack up. Even the BKB will not everything to protect the death pocket. And T1, the mid-lane was rocky to start, but it did not matter. What a fine way for them to open up their run here in game one.
Missing on the hook there. This should be good. They are absolutely swarming that Ancient. No buybacks available on the DP or the SM. Never mind, it was a bait.
Any more kills? React to the tally. The G's have dropped T1 on their debut. Trying game one. We'll see what they're able to do if they can replicate this performance. But for them, Denok, you really had a lot of questions on how this new T1 it would look. And again, in really particular to the supports. And I was quite impressed with Zephyr on the Primal Beast.
Everyone is smiling except for Zephyr right now. He's just like, man, I'm not used to this. It's good, but it's going to take some time. It's exhausting to have to go through a very different style to what you're used to, but I'm sure that he's going to feel very happy about that first performance in an official game. Playing this, you could call it T1 Dota, like his.
The true heroes are the ones who wait all the way. Radiant's turn to ban. Radiant's turn to pick. Seconds. 5 seconds. 50. Dire's turn to pick.
Earth Shaker.
Seconds remain. 5 seconds remain. Dire's turn to pick.
Right there. 10 seconds remain. 5 seconds. Radiant must choose.
Enchantress.
Seconds. 5 seconds remain. It is Dire's band.
Shadow Fiend.
Seconds. 5 seconds. It is Radiant's band. Seconds remain. 5 seconds remain. It is Dire's band. Seconds. 5 seconds. Radiant's turn to ban. Ten seconds remain. Dire must choose. 10 seconds. 5 seconds remain. Radiant's turn to pick.
Tegna.
Seconds remain. 5 seconds.
Like us.
Select your hero. Make the ultimate choice. Prepare yourselves for the main event.
There are better deaths.
Well done, my beauties.
None on this stage shrink from a fight. Seconds to battle.
Oh, very cute.
Shocking. A beautiful soul for my collection.
They've trained hard to get here. It's time now for the final fight.
Ah, this is going to be good.
blood.
Let God live you peace.
Fortified their structures against attack.
You almost had it.
Double kill!
Hyper kill.
The Radiant Glyph is now active. Look to the middle tower.
Yes, I think not. What sort of prize is this?
Radiant's courier has been killed. is in danger.
Gotcha!
Dominating! Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Fall down.
Dire's top tower is in danger. Radiant should look to their middle tower. Radiant's courier has been slain in cold blood. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. There is little hope for Radiant's middle tower. Radiant's middle tower is no more. Radiant scan, eager to know Dire should look to their middle tower.
Heal us. I'll do better next time.
Beautiful soul for my collection.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Come get healed.
Dire should look to their top tower. Dire structures fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Air support arrive. Regeneration.
Yes.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Radiant's courier has
Gotcha.
Dire should look to their top tower.
Come on, Stats.
Radiant should look to their bottom tower.
Where are you going? Only to my heart.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire should look to their top tower. Radiant's bottom tower is in danger. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed. Radiant's bottom tower is in danger. Radiant are scanning for enemies. Radiant should look to their middle tower.
My waters rise.
is under attack. Is now active. Radiant's bottom tower is no more. Dire's middle tower is no more. Radiant's top tower is in danger. The Dire stand on the hunt for Radiant forces. Look to their top tower. Dire's turret has been killed.
Where are you going?
Killing spree. Unbelievable.
waters rise.
Yep.
Yes. Invisibility.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is low. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's bottom tower is under attack from enemies.
Well done, my beauties.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire structures fortified.
Nature attend us.
His bottom tower has been denied.
Oh my. This is cool.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
sprites are with us.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Beauties.
The Nether reaches out.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Come on, sprites.
Immortality.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Double damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
the high ground?
Oh, for sure. I mean, they have Echo Slam back up, I suppose, and Exorcism as well, but this is a chance for them to just get the lanes pushing back out in their favor. It's daytime as well, so Tino isn't going to have that Howl just to assist with the split push coming through. Obviously, you've got the Ancient Black Dragon to be able to do so, but trying to look for pickoffs right now. Boots of Travel can join at any time. Enchantress, there's always going to be a creep that they have to TP onto as well, so I like the way that T1 has put up that.
They will be able to... Oh my god, all the damage!
That's Enchanted Quiver, my man, alongside of a Marcy with Sidekick and max out, stun on stun. Devastating. They're just again trying to trade up top here on Execration. It honestly feels like the most that they can do, even if it's just getting the glyph out to enable a future rat play. Can't fight without the death problem. That is the source of consistent damage. Standing up here, providing that with the aura and the helm of the Overlord. They're going to lose a lot pretty damn quickly. Not even bothering for the range racks, and I'm just trying to put his body on the line as well. Cliff isn't really going to give the backup protection though. It's already pushed in, but they're going to back off. They see that the Vikings come on back. Get a tier 3, but you lose a tier 3 and a melee racks in exchange. Could have been worse for Execration for sure.
Definitely could have been worse, but we just see how difficult it is for them. Like these fights, what do they need to do differently? Is there a location we need to see them fight around? Is there a hero that just has to be killed off at the start of the fight, otherwise they won't succeed?
Kinda feels like Pugna needs to die. You know, he's been pretty quick at getting off the Netherward, Glimmer Cape, Lotus Orb. It's just everything that's going to enable, for example, the himself to cast all of his abilities, right? I feel like Topson's being very greedy with the use of his Netherward, just because he needs to. He needs to be able to get rid of that silence. He needs to be able to remove the overgrowth from people. Gonna get to the stage, level 25, where overgrowth is undispellable, but you are a long way away from that now. Reach it out!
Oh no. Fine. Threatening Bob and Shanks' position. We're keeping up in net worth, but it feels like it's going to be a very difficult task for him to be able to compete in these fights. BKB is something that he needs to get a kill, potentially even 2 throughout the BKB duration. He's unable to do so. He's going to have a lot of difficulties with standing his ground.
Time now, though.
Backstab.
With that extra damage potential, that minus arm that they need to really burst someone down, and
They've split from Ana.
SF's coming back.
It just got to expire in 40 seconds. He's going to wait into the tree line, Bob. It's a lot of Requiem damage, so get the first slap, and how do you set up for the second? They're going to be enabled to protect it for the moment. Ana with the respawn, but instead Execration, they're going to go for Cuckoo. The right click from Bob is not enough to get the line for Cuckoo, and now Bob's battling over to Ana. It looks like the Morphling's winning out for the moment, but under the cover of the Shadowblade, Bob, get out. Meanwhile,